Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a look at this SDCC exclusive, at least for now, Marvel Legends Death's Head. And this was something that was very exciting for me the minute it got announced, because Death's Head is a character I have loved for a very long time, and I do not feel that this character got the love he deserved in the comic books back in the day. And I've always wished that we could get an actual Death's Head action figure. We did get Death's Head 2 a while back, and that was fine, but the original Death's Head, as he looks here in his kind of Marvel Superheroes trading card deck looking thing here for the box, which, by the way, this is beautiful and gorgeous, because this is what the card looked like back in the day. I had the entire set of Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3. And this is what I believe Series 1 looked like. Absolutely fantastic. And I've wanted this character for so long. Very few people, relatively speaking, really know him from the comics, because he really just didn't get much of a chance. I had the original 10 issues of the Death's Head comic from back in, I think, 89, 90, something like that. I know he originally premiered in Transformers back in the day and was used sparingly from time to time in some other comics. I know he showed up in Fantastic Four. I know he showed up in She-Hulk and probably a few other comics as well. And I just not only liked the character, because he's very, he's very kind of, he's kind of a Western kind of, mercenary or bounty hunter type of guy, but also I've just always thought he was the absolute coolest looking character I had ever seen in anything. Cooler looking than any other comic book character or action figure character or movie character or anything. I just always thought he just looked just amazing. And so when I heard they were announcing this, I was like, you know what? I'm going to overpay for it. That's totally what I'm going to do, because I know the minute that SDCC happens, these things will go up online on eBay for ridiculous prices, and I know for a fact I'm going to pay that. And I know some of you are saying, but it's going to come out on Hasbro Pulse or whatever later on. I don't care. I did not want to wait, so I paid a ridiculous price for this, which is, I believe, a retail $35 figure. I paid way more than that, and I'm completely okay with it. I'm usually not all about the FOMO, but this time I could not help myself. I've been waiting for this character for a very, very, very long time. And yes, I know he had a Marvel Universe, 4-inch series character that's out there. I never picked that one up because I don't really collect that scale in Marvel, but I couldn't help myself. So I totally overpaid for him, but that is enough blabbering on. Let's go ahead. We're going to crack this open, which, by the way, I am keeping this box, which I usually don't do, but we're going to do it this time. We're going to crack this guy open and see what we've got inside. All right, so we've got him out of the package, and I'm very, very happy so far with everything I'm seeing here. Really digging it quite a bit, but we'll talk about accessories real quick first. So he does come with a couple of extra fisted hands here. He's got those accessories there. And then he comes with all these accessories. So he's got his little shield and his 3 different hand weapons. So Death's Head could, basically, because he's a robot or cyborg, he could swap out a hand for a weapon. We've got an axe, we've got kind of a missile thing here, and a mace. Now the mace was what he usually had as a replacement for his hand, and these all peg into the hand hole. You pop the hand out, you can put those on. I'll show you that here in a little bit. This also pegs to his back as well, so you can have all the weapons there with the shield on his back like that. And you can do all the swap outs, and you can have, a weapon in, replacing each hand, or whatever you want to do, or have him holding the shield and a weapon over here, or whatever. So you've got some options there. Now, as far as the figure itself, like I said, so far, very, very happy with how he looks. Now, one of the things is, Hasbro used this gray plastic they love to use. I will say it looks better on this than what I've seen on some other figures. It doesn't look horrible. It looks considerably better than I've seen on some of the other stuff that they have out there. Strife and some other figures that have, you know, that are that kind of gray silver plastic. So this one definitely looks better on the gray and silver parts. It does have a little bit of a shine to it. Doesn't just look like plain gray plastic. And, you know, you've got a lot more going on here as well instead of just that plastic. So you've got, you know, extra painted details on this that normally we probably wouldn't see on a retail release here. Just with all the paint apps that have been done across here, paint on the chest, around the arms, on the knuckles, down there on the feet with the spikes and the yellow strips. So nice details there. We've also got some painted details there on the shoulder pads there with some like bullet holes that have been kind of touched up a little bit. We've got nice detailing there on the sculpt of the shoulder pads. Everything looks really nice. I love the texturing that we have here on the cape as well. Looks really, really good, and it's nice and tattered because that's how he looks. You see there, we got the peg hole there in the back for his shield, which would just peg on right there. And I'm very, very happy with this right now. Head sculpt looks great. Exactly like he looked in the comic books. I'm really, really digging this guy quite a bit. Now, as far as articulation goes, we do have pinless double jointed knees. We got standard articulation. We got the ab crunch, bicep swivels, thigh swivels, all that kind of stuff. He does have single jointed elbows, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm just so happy to have this guy. I'm not really gonna complain that much, but his arms only come up to about right there. Head is on a ball peg with the disc hinge right there. So he can, well, see, look, his head just pops right off. He can look up about that far, and that's about it. And then down that far, and that's about it. So not a lot of movement there in the head and neck. And, you know, single jointed elbows, it is what it is. But I'm overlooking a lot of stuff that I would normally complain about because I'm so happy to finally have this figure, and I think he looks really, really good. The sculpt and paintwork on this guy and the accessories are fantastic. I'm willing to overlook some you know, negatives there when it comes to the articulation. So anyway, we're gonna do some comparisons here real quick, see how this guy stacks up to some other figures. All right, so since Death's Head is part of the cosmic Marvel universe, and since he's Death's Head, I thought we'd go ahead and throw him up with both Death's Head 2 and Titus, the Build-A-Figure from the Death's Head 2 wave. And you can see here where this original Death's Head fits in. He is definitely bigger than Death's Head 2 here, and slightly smaller than Titus, a Build-A-Figure. And this is the perfect size, I think, for him. He should be bigger than the Death's Head 2, and should be slightly smaller than Titus, slightly smaller than a Build-A-Figure. I think this works really well, but now I want to take a look and see how he looks with just some normal size figures, since both of these are rather large figures. And here we have him with the 20th anniversary Captain America and the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, and he dwarfs both of them by quite a bit. He is a very large figure for Marvel Legends, and I think that is absolutely appropriate for who this character is, and I think it looks perfect going up on a display. All right, so this is kind of the traditional look that you saw Death's Head have in a lot of the comics, especially in his own 10-issue run, which is, you know, holding a small shield, which honestly is kind of too small, doesn't really do anything, and having his right arm replaced with a mace. And this is kind of the traditional look. This is probably how I will display him, and I think they did a great job. I think it looks fantastic. I mean, I'm very, very happy with this purchase, and look, I admit, I'm fully biased. This is a character I've wanted for so long, and a character I have loved even longer than that. So I am biased. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, okay? The question, of course, is it worth it? Now, at the $35 retail price, if you were able to pick it up for that, whether that's from SDCC or when they eventually release this on Hasbro Plus, is it worth it? Hell yes, it absolutely is. Hands down, without a doubt. However, if you got FOMO like I did, the average price online is between $90 and $100. And then sometimes that's with shipping and sometimes not. Sometimes you have to add shipping onto that. Is it worth it at that price? And realistically, the answer is no, okay? It is a $35 figure. It's not worth $100. This isn't a, this ain't a Mafex or a Mezco or anything like that. However, it's going to come down to personal preference. I'll tell you right now, I paid $89.99 for this with free shipping, and I don't regret it at all. But that's because of my personal love and connection with this character, having read his series back when I was a kid, when I was like 13 years old, and just absolutely loving the character and everything. So I don't feel bad for overspending, but I totally did overspend. I mean, absolutely 100%. I spent too much money on this. I spent more than, what this figure is worth, but I'm okay with it. And who knows, I might pick up another one if it does go onto Hasbro Pulse and I get a chance to grab one. I might grab a second one just to keep it in the package because I love that packaging. But yeah, at $35, hands down, totally worth it. All day, every day. Current, secondary market prices on eBay, I can't realistically sit here and tell you it's worth it, but I can tell you if you are a huge fan of this character like I am, you probably will think it's worth it, to be honest, just like I do. So really it comes down to personal preference, but that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to show you this figure. I'm very, very happy to get a hold of him, as you can tell watching this video, and I always appreciate you guys watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, and as always, guys, always remember to enjoy your collection.